Hello everybody, today I'm bringing you a tutorial on how to check your IVs for your Pokemon this works in any 3rd gen or 4th gen game. The first thing you want to do, you're going to need two things. First, you're going to need your copy of your Pokemon game and the Pokemon you want to check. I have my Diamond version with me, and this is my Golduck. He's at level 100. I feel like checking his IVs. For those of you who don't know, IVs are called individual values. They determine how strong each Pokemon is. They have a value between 0 and 31, with 31 being the highest, 0 being the worst. The second thing you're going to need is an IV calculator online. I personally use the one at Metalkid.info. Cerebi has one, but Metalkid by far is the best one to use, in my opinion. So, go to Metalkid.info, click the link that says IV on the left side. Wait for it to load. It shouldn't take very long, but I've had problems loading. Now, when you first see this, you'll see many different options and charts. It might get a little confusing, but it's really simple. This first box here on the top left, you just type in your Pokemon or select it from the list, and the little Pikachu means that it's loading. The next two boxes say first evolution and second evolution. Leave those blank for now. It's only if your Pokemon evolves while doing this. Enter your nature in here, which can be found on the first page, and then come over here to where it says select characteristic. Now you're going to type in the characteristic. That can be found right underneath the nature on the second page. Now you can go either to the bottom where it says default level and change that to 100 in this case and hit refresh, or you can just go to the chart directly, type in his level, then enter his stats, currently at level 100. Then when you're finished, click calculate at the bottom. And after a few seconds, it should pop up his IVs at the bottom. They should be numbers between 0 and 31. But in this case, we're getting impossible values for some of them. Now, because our IVs are impossible, it means we've either put in the wrong stats or the wrong EVs. In this case, it's the wrong EVs because you gain EVs by battling Pokemon. So, because he's level 100, he's battled a number of Pokemon. It's impossible to count how many he's battled unless you've purposely trained him a certain way. So, you need to get a Pokemon where you do know his EVs in order to find his IVs. Take this Latios for example. I just caught it. It's fresh. Transferred it over to Diamond. And since it's not been in a battle, all its EVs are 0, which makes it very easy to calculate because you don't need any EVs. So you're just going to go in, type in Latios, set his nature characteristic like you did before, and this time, like we did for Golduck, we can leave all of the EV columns at 0 because they don't matter. And this time, they'll be accurate because he only had 0 EVs. So all we need are his stats at level 40. And then hit calculate once you get those in. And then wait for it. And his IVs will pop up. Here they are. Now here's how you interpret what you see. All the Pokemon's stats will pop up with their IVs next to them. As you can see here, his HP is 20, 21, or 22. His other stats are shown below. The next helpful level is 42, which means he needs to gain 2 more levels for us to find out any more to narrow down his IV range. EPs for his action tell you how many EVs you need to know for sure if it's down to 2. You can also find out his hidden power type, but you'll need it to be pretty exact in the IVs before you get anywhere near that. Hidden power is determined by IVs completely. So, we've covered how to calculate IVs on Pokemon. What if your results just aren't good enough? What if you get results that are such broad range and you want to narrow it down? Well, I'm going to show you this on a Diglett I have that's level 1. Now, also, the higher level your Pokemon is, the more exact your IVs will be. So, this Diglett level 1, what you'll see is a very wide range of possibilities. As you're about to see, this Diglett is pretty good overall, but I'm going to show you again. He's adamant, and ironically has the same characteristic as Latios. So, enter his stats. He's level 1, and has very low stats compared to Latios, obviously. And then you enter the first row, and once you hit calculate, and you wait for it, little Pikachu rolling the Pokeball, you'll see some of these ranges don't help you at all. I mean, when you're level 1, you're not going to get much helpful information at all. As you can see, his defense, for example, gives you a range of 0 to 31, which means it can be anything. Every Diglett at level 1 will have the same stats. So what you do is you're going to go on to the game and level them up. Rare Candy is the easiest way. And you're going to check their stats at each and every level up. So, you level them up with the Rare Candy. When they hit level 2, you write down their stats in the next row on level 2. Then at level 3, you do the same thing. Level 4, same thing. Keep doing this until you find enough information to come to a conclusion about whether he's good or bad, or you just run out of rare candies like I did. After a few levels, you'll see the results have been narrowed down quite a bit. That 0 to 31 in defense has been narrowed down considerably. The HP that was 0 to 31 is now 20 to 29. So we know that Diglett has really good HP, a 30 in attack. We had anywhere from 5 to 30 on that one. Still a lot of range to determine on his special attack and speed. There's another way to check IVs if you have a friend and online capabilities. You could take some low-level Pokemon and do a Wi-Fi battle with a friend, and they'll get set to level 100, and you can check their stats and their IVs that way. If you're trying to build a good competitive team, IVs are important, but remember they're not the most important thing. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial on how to check your IVs in Pokemon. I will see you in my next video. So long.